there have been a lot of times, especially as growing years, when I was, I turned professional and I wanted to play for the country, but it nearly took me 5 years to actually do that. Those 5 years were really very hard. And I think at that point in time, there were, during those periods, those 5 years, there have been self-doubts. There have been moments when I felt, am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? But I think all through the while, a good support was around me, I think, because my father is my coach, and coming up from a complete table tennis family, my uncle, my father, my younger brother, everybody playing the sport, kept me like going through. So I think their perseverance was something which was very, very important. And that perseverance comes in through the mental aspect, your mental discipline, your mental commitment to the sport. And of course, yes, even on the third year of becoming pro, I was still not able to clear the second round of the national championships, wherein I wanted to be the national champion. And the fourth year, all of a sudden, I grow up to become India's number 2. Like I play the final in the national championships, and the fifth year, I win my first national title. So I think those growing years were quite, difficult, because you don't have the experience as a player. You don't know if you're in the right direction. Of course, your coaches are there. Everybody is there. But still, each player is individual, and some things work, some things don't work. It's not the same for everybody, especially in table tennis being an individual sport. Maybe if somebody played 3 hours on the table, it would help for him. But for me, maybe it might not help. Maybe I need 4 hours, or maybe I just need 2 hours and I need 1 hour of physical fitness. So there's a lot more components to it. And for all of this, I think the mental part is something which has been very, very important. And that is also the reason why I've been able to sustain so long with such a long career I have. I had trained it very well, and in the younger years, I didn't know there were no mental coaches. The coach was everything. The coach used to talk to you to be mentally strong. The coach used to talk to you about technique, tactic. So back then, it was not so specific. Now, in the recent 4-5 years, there's been, India has sportingly has developed a lot. We are going into in-depth sports science and stuff. And now a mental coach has been helping me completely focus into, the exact details which is required for an elite sports person. So, end of it, I think it was very important the way I grew up, and my mental strength was there even as a young kid. So, which can be compared to many other people in my batch who couldn't make it just because, they were not mentally strong enough. In the earlier years, it was a system or a structure to the mental conditioning part. But in the last 4-5 years, I've understood much more, and I have help. I have a mental coach who's been helping me constantly to handle stress, to handle, mood swings, to handle how to go about tournaments and practice and all kinds of, basically, how we train our body, we need to train our mind also. So it goes in hand. So in the last, especially during the Corona break, and I still remember I was playing a tournament in 2020 March when the coronavirus thing had become quite big, and we didn't know if we can get back home. Lockdowns were going to be announced, and we didn't know. And I still had to play the tournament. I was into the semi-finals. And my mental coach said, you have only one option now. Or probably you have two options. Either leave the tournament, take the next flight and get home, or you forget about taking the flight, finish your tournament, and then solve the problem from there on. So that way I could channelize my entire mental focus into one aspect, which was that match. And I go on to win the semi-final and the final. And once the final was over, then the process of, how do I get back? These times are very uncertain, and the problem is you don't know what's happening. You don't know how long is it going to take. You don't know anything. So many times, okay, of course, also you're going through lockdowns and stuff, which for your own safety, physically though, but mentally, I really don't know if it's actually helping a lot of them. A lot of people change their sleeping patterns. There is no routine. There is no discipline as far as the mind is mind is concerned. So I think the situation has been really bad in the last couple of years since the outbreak of corona, and it is very, very important at these times that you at least talk to somebody. So many times we don't know what's happening, and the world is moving on, but in a completely different way. So we need, even for me, there were many times I used to go to practice, especially last year when the Olympics got postponed. Going to practice and then you don't know what to practice. You don't know what are your goals. So there, I think again, setting small short-term goals or looking at just that one practice. Okay, today let me practice on my technique of the backhand or my forehand or my serve or just let me work on my footwork. We have to set certain goals in a day or in a session for us to look forward into doing it. Discipline is something which is very, very important. I think this also you would agree because you've played cricket at the topmost level. When you look at a Sachin Tendulkar or an M.S. Dhoni, they are all examples of Virat Kohli. They are all examples of having that discipline in their day-to-day life. It is not just on the field or just when they play the match, but it's also the discipline is there from the time they wake up or even before they wake up. So I think that is something which is very, very important, especially for this generation of kids where there's a lot more to do at home. Let's say a lot of distractions at home which can just carry you forward without you doing much. So I think at this time it is very, very important that we have that mental discipline to have a routine, to do our things in the way it has to be done and go on in the right direction.